Okay, here's some more week 7 stuff. We're going to talk a few minutes here about maintenance. So today I went and cleaned up one side of the glass of all the growing algae on it. Let's see if we can put it on this side so you can see a little better. So I got a Sarite snail up there starting to work on the glass, and I've stripped away probably almost a little bit of the algae and cleaned up about half of the tank. Kind of stopped in the middle just because I didn't want to do too much because I'm still trying to build up those nutrients. So it was more of a maintenance, make it look better, help the process a little quicker. So that's it. And here's my maintenance kit I'll show you. Consists of just a pitcher. That's like a 3 gallon bucket, toothbrush. And what I do with my siphon hose is, certain times, depending on what I'm doing, so I'll get one of the Mrs. nylons, cut it in half, and I save the toe part for when I'm going to go ahead and put, some carbon or some biomedia in the filter. And just take an elastic, tie up one end of the cut, take an elastic on the other end, and then all the algae and nasty junk and everything gets filtered out. And I do it right into the bucket, pour it right back in the tank. So it's not so much a water change or anything, it's just a little bit of maintenance. And then probably next week, if I don't have to do a water change, I'll go ahead and tackle the other side of the tank and go from there. So then next up, we're going to talk about the equipment that I've gotten to get this up to where we are in week 7. Okay, here we are, week 7. We're going to do a quick update here. Not too much going on. Getting closer to where the nutrients and everything is getting built up. Getting close to a water change. So I got a new protein skimmer. Went and got the L Fluval Flex PS1. I'll do a short video on that when I get there. But so everything's looking good. I got some astrias, and they tore into a lot of the algae so far. And then I got some nerites, and they started tearing into a little bit of diatom I had left. So one thing I do want to kind of point out is, so as the astrias got to working on all the, I guess, natural rock that I have in here, when it came to the dry rock piece, boy, did the algae just seem to gravitate right toward that. Grew the most, and it seems to be kind of the hardest for the snails to get off. So that's about where it is right now. See, I dropped another one on this natural piece, and he's about a third of the way through it. And then as you can see in the back, some more natural pieces, there's hardly any growth on there. So we're going to do a little maintenance cleanup. I'm going to clean up the bottom vents there. They seem to be a little bit clogged up. Probably siphon off some of the glass algae and in the back, and put it through a sock screen, clean up the glass a little bit, and we'll do a separate video on that too. So that's about it for week 7 right now. Slowly working on the algae killing. So we're going to go ahead and do a week 6. I know in some of the other parts of this video for this week I said 7, but it was wrong. 6. week 6. So talk some equipment. First thing, we'll pop the back off, and as you can see, you know, it pops right off for you. So, all right. So they recommend you buy the Fluval heater. That was a submersible adjustable. What I did was I went with a Aqueon preset 78 degrees submersible heater. So not using the bio blocks, sponges, put them in the left side. If you bought the Fluval one, it would go in right there. So I went and picked up a Fluval PS, I believe it's a 1. Okay, so with this Fluval PS1, they actually call it the Fluval C, and it's the next size up from the Mini. Fits perfectly right in the back. So here is week 6, and you know, on the average expectation of doing a water change on week 8, I went and started up, try to get the 2-week at least break-in cycle for the protein skimmer. It's a real easy thing here. It's got a nice little cover. Okay, so you run your tubing, which is already attached, and there's a little valve here, and it sticks in a hole. So to set your length, your strength of skimming, the cup, which is really neat. Now you can tell, okay, so almost, you know, there's nothing in there. So there's your base of your skimmer. Okay, so it is drawing some air from inside. Now what they want you to do when you start out for a startup, this O-ring winds up, let's see if you can see it, sits right on top when it's set, so it sets the position of the cup, and whether you have a hard skim or a soft skim or like a break-in. So the lower the cup goes into the skimmer, the more skimming you're going to have. So that would mean you would raise the O-ring, this little plastic O-ring that goes around it, up toward the top, so it goes down further. The lower the O-ring, the lighter the skimming is going to be. So I'm just going to break in halfway. So drop it down, and you can see it's doing its job. Been a couple of days. So then Fluval also recommends you to take the air hose that's attached to the unit, and the other end gets attached to your valve, inside of the tank, not pull it out and let it hang on the outside. So read the directions. It tells you exactly how to use it. So this one, I didn't use the suction cups because it also comes with a little bracket. It's a really neat little bracket. Let me see if I can get a better, change the view of it here. So it's a clip-on. So it clips on to the rim of the tank, and it fits in there nice and neat. You just a little pressure with your finger, and it's level. You get your water level exactly where it needs to be. It's a nice little setup. You know, so to start out, there's a lot of micro bubbles, and that's expected during the break-in period of any kind of skimmer. But it's really quiet. That's it running, you know. So with the little cover on, the little black cover, you got to kind of just push it to the left a little bit. So there's more room on the right-hand side than on the left-hand side. And it also affects it when you raise the cover. You don't get it doing this number, popping the cap off for you. Okay, so when you raise the cover, you got room. So it's a neat little setup. They could give you a little more room, but outside of that, they could have made some kind of cutout for your cords, because the cords tend to build up. And we'll do another little short segment on how I prep my cords. But I don't have any more equipment going in, so my cords are where they are. And of course, I continually change out every few days the filter floss. I have the bio media ceramic bios that Fluval recommends underneath this, as you can see with my string here. And then this compartment has another little piece of equipment I got. I believe this was a Image Aquarium digital thermostat. I love it. It works really nice. Yeah, see, preset to 78. Look at that. So that's good, And then the only other thing I got was a power head, which in regards to the power head, I should have gotten a 400 gallon per hour, or even smaller, but I got a bigger one, and that one's 800 gallons per hour, and I believe it's just too strong for this tank. So trying to reposition how I get a better flow and take it from there. So that's the power head for this tank. That's what I would recommend. And then we'll do a little short video on the wiring that I got set up in the back, and maybe some more maintenance stuff. But this is week 6. Week 6 equipment and what I changed and updated. And then lastly, I'm going to show you. Let me put the cover back on. So we were talking about moving it over to the left. So as you put one side down, see, you're getting a little more space on that side than this side. So you want to move your skimmer a little bit to the left, doesn't make it so tight. Then you put your other side down, snaps right in there. And that's it. Now it's nice. There it is. So there's a look. That's what your cover should look like when you get your Fluval Flex 123 liter, 32.5 gallon tank, saltwater. Okay, everyone, so we're going to do our final little update for week 6. I'm going to show you guys what I did with the wiring in the back. So it comes with the light, that's one cord, and it comes with the return pump, a second cord. Now it does have these little, if you can see, these little slots, one there, and there's one on the other side. I'm assuming one was meant for the heater and the light, or even the return pump and the light. Either way, so I run my wiring on the top of the clip that holds the protein skimmer on the back of the tank. So all those get joined together, and all I do is throw a bread tie on them. That's all it is. Simple bread tie. Put one down lower, simple bread tie, and then it runs in to the bottom shelf from the back. So my drip loop isn't here, but it kind of is. It's actually 2 different ways it can drip without causing any problem. So here in the front, I'll show you. Here's where my drips are, on the bottom shelf, and I've got my power strip above, attached onto the first shelf, and it's not even touching. It's actually separated from the first shelf. So there's no way possible that any water that comes out of the top is going to start any electrical issue with any of the wiring. So that's my setup, and we'll see you next week. All right, so this is week 6, and I'm going to show you guys why I don't agree with blackouts. So if you got corals and you got an algae problem, the solution isn't always shutting your lights off for 2.5, 3 days, turning them back on and hoping that it's disappeared. And then, you can never know, because it's just quite possibly that it's going to grow back. So find alternate ways. And here's the video proof, if you can't see it, that I'll bet you in another week or so, that rock's going to be shiny white, just like it was when I first put it in there. So there's a little bit of a week 6 update.